They say every secret eventually comes to light, but some are buried so deeply that it can take decades to uncover the truth. Welcome to Murder Files. Today, we'll explore a case that remained shrouded in mystery for nearly half a century, the chilling story of the Lady of the Dunes. As we unravel this tale, remember to subscribe for more true crime investigations like this one. Discovery on Race Point Beach. In the quiet and scenic town of Provincetown, Massachusetts, known for its sandy dunes and serene shores, July 26, 1974, was a day like any other. Or so it seemed. It wasn't just any body. It was one that bore signs of a violent, tragic end. A young girl, out exploring the Race Point area with her family, noticed something odd in the bushes. As she moved closer, she froze. The figure lying in the sand was lifeless, positioned face down and partly covered by foliage, as though someone had tried to hide it. The local police arrived, and immediately, the scene struck them as unusual. The woman's hands had been severed at the wrists. It was as if the killer had intended to erase her identity, making it harder to trace her through fingerprints. Her face was severely disfigured, unrecognizable due to a powerful strike to the head. Her dark hair cascaded down one side of her face, creating a haunting image. The crime scene. She wore a blue bandana, neatly tied, and a pair of Wrangler jeans, lying on a green towel that appeared to have been purposefully placed. The killer hadn't acted in haste, but had taken deliberate steps to position her, perhaps leaving her in the very spot where they had ended her life. There was no sign of sexual assault or any struggle, which only deepened the mystery. No blood, no clear evidence around the body, just cigarette butts nearby, scattered in the sand. But the reason for these details would remain unknown, adding layers to an already perplexing case. Local authorities exhausted all efforts to identify her. Forensic artists crafted composite sketches, hoping someone in Provincetown or nearby would recognize her. But as the days turned into weeks, no one came forward. To this small town and its people, she was a stranger, an unknown woman whose story had yet to be told. Dental work and the unknown woman. The woman's teeth revealed something rare for the 1970s extensive and high-quality dental work, which seemed unusual for the time. Her dental records were meticulously searched, but the lack of a match became another dead end. Detectives speculated she might have been from another part of the country, or even from another nation, and despite the quality of her dental care, no one could say who she was. As the years rolled on, she earned a name that would echo in popular culture and haunt the people of Provincetown, the Lady of the Dunes. Rumors and theories. Over time, the Lady of the Dunes became more than just an unsolved case. She became an enigma, a figure tied to urban legends and theories that reached beyond Provincetown. Some suspected she had been a victim of organized crime, perhaps eliminated by someone who wanted her erased from existence. Others speculated about serial killers, and rumors circulated, drawing both locals and outsiders who hoped to learn her story. And then there was the mysterious connection to Jaws, the famous 1974 movie. As people watched the beach scenes closely, some began to notice a woman in the background who bore an uncanny resemblance to the composite sketch of the Lady of the Dunes. Could she have been an extra, someone who just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time? Decades later, advances in DNA technology. Years turned into decades, and by the 2010s, advances in genetic genealogy began to offer new hope. For the first time, the Lady of the Dunes' DNA was analyzed with advanced techniques, cross-referenced with genetic databases. But as with many cold cases, progress was slow, and for some time, it seemed as though this unknown woman might remain a mystery forever. However, in 2022, a breakthrough came her that led investigators to family members who had no idea their loved one's fate had ended so tragically. She was Ruth Marie Terry, a 37-year-old woman who had disappeared without a trace. With her identity uncovered, the Lady of the Dunes was finally given back her name. The legacy of Ruth Marie Terry. But even with her name restored, many questions lingered. Who had brought her to Provincetown? How did she meet her killer? And why had they gone to such lengths to mutilate her and erase her identity? In Provincetown, the discovery brought a mixture of relief and lingering sadness. People who had lived in the town their whole lives felt a bittersweet closure. They'd known her only as the Lady of the Dunes, a ghostly figure that had become part of local folklore. If you've listened this far, you're clearly intrigued by cold case mysteries as much as we are. If you'd like us to explore more cases like the Lady of the Dunes, please show your support by subscribing to Murder Files, where we dive into mysteries both solved and unsolved. The discovery of Ruth Marie Terry's identity reminds us that time cannot silence every story. With each new technology and every fresh lead, justice may come, even if delayed. But her case reminds us that not every mystery will be fully solved. Each life lost deserves a chance to be heard and remembered. And for more true crime stories that deserve to be uncovered, subscribe to Murder Files. We'll be back with our next investigation soon. Ruth Marie Terry, born in 1935, was a woman whose life was filled with complexities and experiences. Growing up in Michigan, Ruth often moved with her family, exploring various cities and adapting to new environments. Her childhood was likely influenced by the changing dynamics of the 1950s and 60s, as women began to seek more independence. In her late teens and early 20s, Ruth experienced the freedoms and challenges that many women faced during this transformative era. By the time she reached her 30s, Ruth had developed strong family ties, and her loved ones were an integral part of her life. Ruth was described by those who knew her as a spirited woman, with a passion for adventure and a desire to explore the world around her. However, her life took a tragic turn when she mysteriously disappeared in the summer of 1974, leaving her family and friends desperate for answers. After her body was discovered, it became clear that Ruth's story was not just one of a lost individual, but part of a larger mystery that haunted Provincetown. Her identity was obscured for decades, with her extensive dental work hinting at a life that was more complex than what met the eye. As we delve deeper into her past, we uncover not just the circumstances of her death, but also the essence of who Ruth Marie Terry truly was.